Some of y'all are curious about why I haven't spoken or when will I speak about the killing of an 18-year-old by a police officer in Ferguson, Missouri. Let me start out by saying there are reasons why there are times why I don't talk about certain things because we have to be careful before we put anything out that's not vetted. Okay, and I'm just going to be honest with you about that. Now, I'm going to read this article, and if it's some video accompanying it, I'll pull it up. Or if not on this video, probably another video. But I'm going to do my best to get through it without having one of my coughing fits, you know. Like I said, this time of year, y'all have already known that allergies and stuff. But anyways, Ferguson, Missouri, community fears after teen shot dead by police. Following shooting of 18-year-old man. Now you see up here it says teen, but up in here it says man. They can't decide whether we're teenagers or men at the age of 18. Excuse me. But anyways, 18-year-old man by a police officer in the city of Ferguson, Missouri. An Irish community gathered to demand answers. Michael Brown, a black teen and recent high school graduate, was shot dead in the city north of St. Louis on Saturday. The victim's grandmother said she found her grandson's body in the streets shortly after seeing him walking near her home. The Associated Press reports. A spokesman for the St. Louis County Police Department confirmed that Ferguson police officers shot the man, but provided no further details on why the shooting occurred. Witness said that Brown was unarmed, KMOV reports. A crowd quickly gathered at the scene, as did 100 police cars from 15 departments. 15 departments. According to KSDK, the St. Louis Post-Dispatch reports that the protesters came face-to-face with police at the site of the shooting, raising arms saying, "Please don't shoot me." A dumpster was reported lit on fire. As temperatures cooled, mourners participating in a prayer circle and vigil. Now, I don't know about you, but I've noticed something ever since I can remember watching the news or watching old clips. When black people get together, they send all kinds of police out in our community. But when white people get together and burn up and tear up shit, they don't do that. They don't do that. But with us, they do that. Now that says something. I mean, I want you to really think about that for a second. Really think about that. They sent 15 departments, but they can't. But that 15 departments will never work with each other in combating crime in our community. But when our people get together in a mass protest, they come out because they're afraid that niggas are going to revolt. Think about that for a second. How many of those 15 departments have gotten together and said we're going to go out here and combat crime the same way we go out here and fuck with people protesting? A man identified as the victim's stepfather held a sign that said, "Ferguson police just executed my unarmed son." Leslie McSpadden, a woman the Post-Dispatch identifies as the victim's mother, said, "I know they killed my son. This was wrong and it was cold-hearted." Images of the crime scene following demonstrations were posted to social media. This is a young man's stepfather. Father. They just executed my unarmed son, so he had a man in his life. What the hell, this person said, what the hell is going on in Ferguson? Look at all the police officers. I want y'all to look at this for a second. Let me see if this is actual video.
What do we want? Justice! What do we want? Now! What do we want? Justice! What do we want? Now! Justice! What do we want? Now! What do we want? Justice! Now! What do we want?
See how the police officers are looking? Now here it is. White folks can burn up cars, tear their neighborhoods up. We go get crowd control. How many instances where we seen whites after sports teams won shit, blowing up, destroying shit? These people are just saying we want justice. Now I'm gonna tell you something. I'm very careful what words I use when I talk about law enforcement officials online because, you know, they can be saying you're inciting violence. But I'm going to let you know something. When our brothers and sisters are being shot down since I've been born, before I was born, and going to be after I'm leaving this plane of existence, you have to understand that there's a lot of black folk out here who's advocating for people doing harm to police officers. And those of you in law enforcement better understand, when you allow other police officers to do shit like this, or don't speak out about it, or try to say we need better community relationships with the people who have been victimized the most, you're setting yourself for as a target. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm all about following the law, but when white folks get together, other groups get together, y'all don't do this shit. Y'all don't come out and force intimidate. And that tells you black folks where they want to keep us in. I keep warning y'all, they want us in a subservient position. This is why I don't understand why we keep arguing and jaw-jacking with each other. These motherfuckers want to intimidate. These motherfuckers don't scare me. Because if they didn't have a armory or a backup unit of motherfuckers, they'd be cowards. A lot of them are cowards. This is why I say you need the military to come in the community. Because guess what? The military help police these motherfuckers. Because they answer to their chain of command. They have to report things they see. But see, some of y'all don't ask those questions. People marching to Ferguson Police Department headquarters following the killing of a 17-year-old boy. Some people got it mistaken. But now look at this. They bring out these TAC vehicles. These are vehicles they use in Iraq now. I mean, look at this. Now, if they don't tell you something, I don't know what. This is why I keep telling our brothers and sisters, we need to get our shit together as a people. Because if black folks will come together, I don't care what city you in, I don't care what issues you have on what side of town, if we come together as one group of people and say, we're going to check these police officers. We're going to sit there and start asking, why is the police officers predominantly white in black communities? Why do they seem to put a lot of cops out at night? Why isn't there every time a cop involved shooting, the police officers get off, or they got the fraternity of the police officers running to their defense? I mean, when you start seeing them bring equipment in like this in the community, they mean business. And you know, there's a lot of police officers be like, we don't need the military. Like, want to know why? Because the military, when you do go on patrols with them, you have to call in and write in reports of what you see. That's why I kept telling y'all, maybe we need the National Guard to come in. Because I'm telling you, it will alleviate a lot of this stuff. But our people have been so programmed to think any other group that comes to the community is going to do something. I mean, you need somebody checks and balances with the police officers. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. Or we need to start pushing for cameras and recording devices. We have the technology. We have the way they need to start. Like, I want to give all. I can't say that, but I'm pretty sure they do something similar. But there's certain things I can't say because I ain't getting charged for no fucking treason. But anyways, there's ways to monitor these police officers. I mean, look at this. Look at the rallies. These people ain't being violent. These people are tired of being victimized. But before I get this, a mother grieving, spreading files on the street where her son was shot and killed by Ferguson police. Count them spell Mike. Victim's name, today's shooting. Protests outside Ferguson Police Department headquarters right now. Stop police from killing people. Somebody needs to tell us. Sewell wrote this for this young man. They need to take that off. School ain't doing this kid damn good, but I don't want to get fixated on that too tough. But then again, you need to talk about that stuff too. Rodney King's 1991 beating still by police still exists. Honk for justice. Stop violence. Protests continue in front of the Ferguson Police Department, and people united will never be defeated. Ferguson, Missouri, AP. Desiree Harris saw her grandson running near her home Tuesday afternoon when she passed him in her car. Minutes later, she found his body on the street, fatally shot by a police officer. The shooting of the black teenager reached high school graduates sent hundreds of angry residents out of their apartments in the predominantly black St. Louis suburb of Ferguson in a confrontation with police that lasted several hours. They shouted obscenities and through some threats such as kill the police. I don't know if I would have done that, but okay, I understand the anger. But there were no reports of additional injuries. Harris said she expected an 18-year-old grandson, Michael Brown, to visit her that afternoon and discovered him dead after she heard the commotion outside the apartment complex. He was running his way. He was running this way, she said. When I got up there, my grandson was laying on the pavement. I asked the police what happened. They didn't tell me nothing. Excuse me. Brown mother Leslie McSpadden told her acquaintance the shooting was wrong and it was cold-hearted. The St. Louis Post-Dispatch reported. According to the newspaper, Brown's stepfather, Lewis Head, held a sign that read, "Ferguson police just executed my unarmed son." I had a question, and I know this may sound weird. That's his stepson. I understand the boy probably kept his father's name, but why is the mother named McSpadden but not Head? Or they common law? Or she gave her, okay, whatever. Anyways, a spokesman for the St. Louis County Police Department, which is investigating the shooting at the request of the local department, confirmed the Ferguson police officer shot the man. The spokesman didn't give a reason for the shooting. They don't give a reason for the shooting. That's when shit getting fishy. Because usually police officers say, well, he was doing this and doing that. John Gaskins, a member of the St. Louis County NWCP, said the FBI should get involved to protect the integrity of the investigation. He alluded to the 2012 racially charged shooting of a 17-year-old high school student by a Florida Neighborhood Watch organizer who was subsequently acquitted of murder, as well as the death of a New York man from a police chokehold after he was confronted for selling individual cigarettes on the street. With the recent events of a young man killed by the police in New York City and Trayvon Martin and other African American men who have been killed by police officers, this is designed concerning NWCP, especially our local organization, Gaskins said. Gaskins said officials in the organization spoke with St. Louis County Police Chief John Balmer, who told the teenager had been shot twice. By early Saturday night, dozens of police cars remained parked near the shooting scene as mourners left votive candles, roses, petals, and large stuffed animals and other memorials at the makeshift memorial in the middle of the street. At the height of the post-shooting tension, police at the scene called for about 60 other police units to respond in the area of Ferguson. Now, see how they treat our people like we criminals? See what I mean? A city of about 21,000 residents, about 2/3 of whom are black. Harris said her grandson recently graduated from high school and was looking forward to the future, including possibly attending college. My grandson never got in a fight, she said. He was just looking forward to getting on his life. He was on his way. Ferguson Police Chief Thomas Jackson told the Post-Dispatch that the officer involved had been placed on paid administrative leave. We're hoping for calm and for the people to give us a chance to conduct a thorough investigation, Jackson said. Gaston said the angry crowd was reacting to a trauma. Anytime you have this type of event taking place, emotion is going to run hot. But for 600 people to gather around the area to see where a man's lying on the street, that means something happened that should have not happened. Let me start out by saying I want people to understand something. We don't know what went down. I'm telling people to be calm and be rational about this. But if what the grandparents or parents are saying is true about this young man, he didn't deserve it. But when you see the police officers come out like this and the reaction of the crowd, something must have happened. And I'm gonna tell you something. The reason why I'm asking y'all to hold up before, because let me tell you something. We got a group of young brothers and sisters out here who do fuck around. And I know we don't want to hear that. I know people are going to say Harvey, but we don't know. And I mean no disrespect nowadays, because there's a group of young male and females in our community who act out and put themselves or other people's in harm's way. We got to understand what went down. Let me say this. I want people to understand this. I'm not saying this child deserved to be murdered. But when you see our young brothers and sisters out in public acting like fools, cooning, buffooning, saying things like kill the police and shit, you're not helping the situation. Now maybe something else has been going on in that town, and those black folks said enough is enough. To get 600 people to come out and protest like that, this had to be a history of this. This had to be a history. And I want our people to understand, when you have a bunch of idiots out cooning, buffooning, and doing dumb things, saying dumb things, you got our hands tied. I hope to God that this is not one of those incidents where the kid was doing something and he thought he can talk back or he thought he can run away. But I'm gonna tell you right now, we need to stop with this crap. Cause we're tying our hands of our people all around the country. I'm not gonna lie to you, I turn on the TV and hear about certain news stories, and I have to sit back and really listen to what the police officers are saying. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. I can tell when it's a bullshit reason. Notice they have not given the reason why this teen was shot. They trying to get their story together, and I hope to God it was witnesses around. Because if it was witnesses around, it'd be a totally different scenario, a totally different situation. I'm telling you right now, we as black people got to understand there are people out here that want to see us hurt. When we got people within our own community doing things and saying things that got our hands tied, I'm telling you right now, when people saying kill the police, you got to be careful. You have to be extremely careful because you don't know who's on that apartment listening like, oh, this is what these niggas are saying. So we get in a confrontation where I'm going to shoot one. I'm telling you, these motherfuckers think that way. Not all, but enough. For those of you who's like wonder why I haven't said anything, this is one of the reasons. It's not enough information being released. I can't determine whether or not this would happen, but I can speculate, and that's the only thing I can do at this point. I pray he wasn't one of those kids out there doing something and didn't want to get busted and thought he could outrun the police or put their hands on him or had something and they shot him or he made some sudden move. I hope that he's not one of those type of kids that did it. But we have to be honest. There are young black people out here within our community who do dumb shit that fuck with the law. I'm not saying he did that, but we have to be very careful in these situations. See, this is not like Trayvon Martin where Zimmerman called and you have a recording of Zimmerman and he was told to stand down and he still killed that kid. That should have been cut and dry. He should have been thrown under the jail. Michael Dunn, you have people come to the conclusion about Michael Dunn. Let me say this again. There's stuff that's open and shut and we don't get justice from. But see, I'm going to tell you right now, if black folks don't stop getting our shit together and unite, like the local NWCP shouldn't be taking the lead, the national need to get involved in this. When the ADL have problems, the local and national get involved in things. See, the problem is our organizations are not cohesive. Our leaders in our community, we don't have people proper spokespersons. We don't have people organizing in a proper manner. If you guys can go out there and protest, you know what you should have did? Y'all should have did? Went out there and protest and just put your hands up like this. And just kept saying, don't kill us, we're innocent. Don't kill us, we're innocent. Without shouting, kill the police. Don't give them any ammunition to use against you. Let me say this again. We have to be smart in our actions. We have to understand that they're human beings in these uniforms. And a lot of them have biases because, let's be honest, the entertainment industry ain't helping in one bit. Let me say this again. The entertainment industry is not helping. When you have these young rappers, male and female, get out rapping about fuck the police, blah, blah, this, and putting out these negative images, people think that this is our reality. There are a lot of hard-working, law-abiding black families out there. There are a lot of young brothers don't gang bang who mind their own business. And I've seen police officers fuck with them. But you don't give them any ammunition to use. Either we're going to stand strong and be smart about how we approach things, or we're going to constantly keep having these things. You think we've learned that by now? They won't give no details. Usually police officers are quick to put details out. They try to get their story together. Because I guarantee there's fucking witnesses out there. And I'm going to tell you, let's not be so quick to put them witnesses out on Front Street. Because look what's going on in New York. We need to start having protecting certain people. Like I said, if I was over these so-called black civil rights organizations, I would clean fucking house. See, these motherfuckers, they sat back and they've watched our game plan for the last how many years. So they know what to do. If this young brother didn't have a record, wasn't in trouble, never been in fights, I had to sit there and side with the grandma right now. But I had to be careful. Because there have been times where we've sided behind people and looked like fools. Now, I know people are going to say, Harvey, what if it's your family member? I know what my siblings are capable of. I know I got two that are destined to be in jail or 6 feet under before they hit 30. I'm just being honest with you. Some of our people we can't save or don't want to be saved. They want to push the system. They figure, oh, my grandparents or the community come stand behind me. That don't happen all the time. Some people get tired of it. Some people we've become apathetic, or we've become complacent, or we just say this is the way it is in the black community. Some of us are going to get harassed, some of us are going to die, which is bad. But I'm telling you right now, we as black folk, we have to have a better game plan. So this is why I hesitate to do this story, and I hesitate to go in on the police department too hard because we don't freaking know. Just because one police department did some, or some officer did some years ago, let's not indict. Let's be careful, because like I said before, there's some among us that do some questionable things, and they make it hard for us to defend not only them but the community as a whole. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. We can't say this is a Ferguson, Missouri police issue. You have issues in New York, Chicago, California, Arkansas, Minnesota, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Nevada. I mean, we can go on all around, not just in the United States. I just want our people to understand, we got to tell those people in our community, you're making it hard for us. And I think some of them do it on purpose because of that. Because they figure we're going to come out, we're going to support, we're going to see the grieving mom or dad or grandparent or aunt, uncle, or the husband or wife or the brother or sister, and we're going to believe that I'm telling you. Now, people say, Harvey, what if something happened to you and they lie and say you do something? And you know what? I would hope my family will fight for me. But I don't want nobody doing or saying anything stupid in my name. Like if we were smart as black folk, anybody was associated with George Zimmerman should be miserable right now. Anybody that offended George Zimmerman, when CNN hired George Zimmerman lawyer, we supposed to roll into Comcast, DirecTV, anybody who's doing business with CNN, we supposed to make their life miserable. See, we're disrespected every day, every hour, every week, every month, every year, every decade. You would think that we'd be having right now have a better game plan how to deal with this shit. Now I will say this: if these police officers are proven guilty, and these other cops that have been guilty of crimes that we know they've done and committed, these motherfuckers should be around here hiding somewhere. Literally, they should be hiding somewhere because everywhere they go, they're supposed to be scared to show their face. Everybody talks about O.J. Simpson. They won't let his shit go. He was found not guilty, but they still say he's guilty. Them cops would be Rodney King and destroyed that man's life. Why don't we have any signs of billboards saying these are the cops that got away with beating Rodney King? Why is it on black media we're not talking about these things? Why are we not talking about Zimmerman or any other person? Why are we not calling the gay community out for not calling out George Zimmerman brother for the racism? Why are we not making these people suffer? Why are we not calling out these teachers that miseducated us as kids? Why don't we shame people like they shame us and accuse us for real or imagined stuff? And guess what? I guess speaking of the devil about this, let me play this real quick. They talking about what's going on in Ferguson, Missouri right now. Let me play this audio real quick so you guys can hear it, because I guess the timing of this video is perfect.
Police in one Missouri town are facing criticism after an unarmed teen was shot and killed. Witnesses say that Michael Brown was walking in the road near an apartment complex with a friend. An officer approached and told them to get out of the street. That's where accounts of the accident changed. Police in the town of Ferguson say that Brown then attacked the officer who opened fire. But witnesses say that Brown did not provoke the incident and appeared to be surrendering when he was shot. The officer involved is on leave pending an investigation.
Now he got a story. He was walking the street with his friend, and this is what I want to talk about. Let me say this, and I want people to understand. I want people to understand where I'm going with this, because, like I said, they still haven't released all the details yet. But have you noticed this generation of kids that live in certain areas do not like to walk on the sidewalk? Have y'all peeped that? They walk in the streets. I've driven down the streets where you have paved roads. You have sidewalks where they can walk. They would not. And they slow down and they dare you to keep driving. Now, let's play devil advocate for a second. The young brother's walking with his friend. Now, right here, they don't mention that he's with your friend. See, that's what I'm talking about. This certain stuff ain't being mentioned. He's walking with his friend. Police say, hey, you guys get out of the road. And they looking back at the cop. Like, man, we ain't doing shit. We in the road. We ain't bothering nobody. Cop gets pissed off because they ain't respond. Officer gets in their face. Officer put his hands on him, or they say, don't touch me. He takes off running. Police all pull out a gun, shoot him. That could have been how it happened. Or it could have been that a cop was fucking with him and they just the guy said, I'm not taking this. I'm running to my grandma because they said he was on his way to his grandma's house. But there's also a thing that these kids could have said, man, fuck the police. We ain't doing shit. Fuck you. And got in words and figure, yo, I'm by my grandma. I'm in a neighborhood. They ain't gonna do shit. They outnumbered. I'm putting this out for a reason because I'm telling you right now, when stories like this get told in initial reports that they don't tell you what happened, what went down, but you turn on the news and all of a sudden you hear about what went down. Somebody's trying to get their story together. Like I said, if there are witnesses and he's walking with a friend and his friend is upfront and honest about it, then the cops were in the wrong. But I'm telling you right now, we have to be extremely careful of what we jump behind in our community. Because I've seen too many stories as of late, or the last 2-3 years, where we reacted because of our history. And then when we reacted, people got upset and came out. Like, I'm going to tell you something. This does, now, if what they reported says is true, that he was walking and minding his own business, then this will explain the police presence. Because then they got to say, this kid was just minding his business, walking with his friend, and you shot him. Everybody has a right to be mad. When you order all these cops to come into a community, something is up. Now, like I said, we have to be extremely careful not to jump without getting more information. But I just want to put that out there. I know y'all say, Harvey, why don't you do a video on this? Because a lot of times y'all notice that some things I don't do videos on because it just something don't sound right. I had to get all the facts. And I like to get all the facts before I come to my opinion or conclusion. Or, you know, and like I said, I could be wrong on all of it. This young brother could have never done nothing. He could have been one of those black kids that was the day that the cops are going to fuck with him. But until we get our brothers and sisters in the community under control who terrorize our community, our hands are tied. And that's the fucked up. And I don't think that's what people don't understand. What's the first thing people say when something happens in our community and we get outraged? Well, you guys don't say no one other blacks are killed in blacks. We do. But we don't stay consistently outraged. The media doesn't cover that. Now, this kid was killed because he was just walking down the road and that cop shot him. I don't care what the cop ethnicity. I don't care the age. I don't care if he got a family or not. He needs to be thrown under the jail. But if this kid did anything to speed his demise up, parents got to sit there and talk to their kids. We got to get back to talking to our children, our young adults, and like when we was kids and our parents told us, even when our parents told us, there was aunts or uncles or teachers or neighbors that repeated that. Don't do anything stupid out inside society. You got people got itchy fingers, especially in law enforcement.